Hey, look who's back, huh?
That's right. The Cooligans are back
Not
here.
just us, though. Also NYCFC back where they belong in the playoffs.
Correct. So the Cooligans are taking the city. NYCFC are taking the playoffs.
That's
we
right.
are here.
This playoff special, by the way, is brought to you by Etihad Airways.
Let's go.
Does that mean we get status?
We're trying to fly through to MLS Cup. Okay?
That's right. I don't care where it is. I don't even care if it's at Yankee Stadium. Fly us from our apartments to Yankee Stadium, Etihad.
So we're going to preview NYCFC against Atlanta United. Again, this is going to be at home NYCFC playoff special. Ooh. Very, very excited. We're going to be talking to Alfredo Morales.
Wow, I can feel the intensity already. You just said the name.
That's right. And we're also going to be talking to Kristen Heniage.
Wait. Intensity's back down.
Okay, now
it leveled out a little bit.
We're at a reasonable level, okay? So we'll take a look at this game and get you ready for NYCFC and the MLS playoffs.
Ooh, let's talk to Alfredo Morales.
Let's go. Okay, we are here with midfielder for NYCFC, Alfredo Morales. Alfredo,
Incredible.
Thank you so much for joining us, man. Absolutely honored.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thanks.
Do you feel it already? I don't know how do midfielders do this against you? I am already worried. I'm already feeling the intensity. I already feel like I'm going to get 2 foot if I do anything wrong. How do they do this against you?
Nothing. That's all you do.
Yeah, but it's like a jack-o'-lantern, man. It's the most menacing smile.
No, man. Look. We're huge fans. We actually had the honor to get to watch you play in Germany when you were playing in Dusseldorf. And we got, about 2 years ago, we got to go to Germany and see you play and speak to you. And even, at that time, everybody was talking about, this guy, he's American. He could play for the U.S. and all that stuff. And you've gotten that opportunity to do that. But then when you signed with NYCFC. We're both NYCFC season ticket holders from day one, and we were like, yo, this is the dude we need.
Yo, midfield's about to get wrecked up.
Okay, when it comes to New York energy, I was very, very happy that when you signed here and came to MLS. What has the experience been like for you being at NYCFC so far?
It's great, seriously. I'm so happy about the decision I made more than 6-7 months ago now. I was waiting for my family for a long time. I was alone for like 4 to 5 months, so this was a little tricky. It was not so easy for me, but it's a great city. You know much more about New York than me, but I'm exploring and I'm open for everything. So every time we have a day off, I go somewhere to Manhattan, to Central Park. Now in fall, it's beautiful. It's just amazing. It's great, seriously. It's so nice for my kids, for my wife. We have a lot of fun. It's great.
Now, let's talk about you and sort of how you've been able to blend in with this team, because coming into a team in the middle of the season is not always the easiest, but you seem to be able to sort of fit right in. And you also, like Christian said, seem like you got the perfect attitude for a team that's based in New York. You've got that greediness, like no one wants to step on your shoes on the subway. You got that kind of an attitude. How have you been able to sort of how have you been able to fit right in, you know what I mean, with this team? And what do you think you bring that wasn't on the team already?
First of all, I think I'm a nice guy. I mean, I can fit in everywhere, so I'm very open. I'm very direct. I approach people. I just start talking. I share my experiences, whatever. So it was very easy to get into the group of guys. And I mean, it's a great team. We have great guys here, great personalities. And it was just a lot of fun. And from the first day, I felt very good. I felt safe in this environment. So everything was good. I just wanted to start working hard on the pitch and training in the games. And that's what I do. And I just can't. I can just say nobody ever stepped on my shoes and stuff. Where I come from. So
Okay, good. We appreciate it. I mean, you see the work rate is very clear. When it comes to playing in MLS versus playing in Bundesliga, is there anything glaring that you immediately noticed? Did you feel a sense of, you are a much more of a veteran than some of the younger guys there. When you started playing in MLS, were you like, oh, okay, this level's higher than I even expected, or was it easy to adapt?
I think it was easy to adapt for me, but still, of course, there are new things that especially Ronnie and the coaching staff demanded from me, and I think this was what I had to work on, because they wanted me to get on the ball as soon as possible, to be open, like open up the play, pass forward, whatever. And I mean, in Germany, we all pretty much the only thing I did was the dirty work, just running, fighting, fly tackling, winning balls, play simple. So I had to adapt a little bit, but it wasn't hard. It was just something new that I had to focus on. And I mean, it's not that I had to learn something new, from the beginning, from scratch or something. No, but it was just certain things I had to focus on. That's it.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Even, NYCFC plays, there's so many combinations. It's like, God, tiki-taka, there's a lot going on, so that you can see why.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Exactly.
More than I want. Again, no one's asked, just so you know, but just in case. Let's talk a little bit about how the team is done. Obviously, there's been a big turnaround. One of the most important things, and I know this probably you haven't had a lot of experience with playoffs, but in MLS, we have the playoff system, and they always say whoever sort of gets the MLS Cup is whoever gets to the playoffs the hottest, with the best and the biggest momentum. And it seems like you guys are right in with that, right? You had that little bit of a dip, but you've just won a bunch on your way into MLS playoffs. Talk about what made that turnaround. What did Ronnie tell you guys? Was it watching videos of us? What was it that made the team play better?
Inspired,
I mean, everybody who follows us as a club and as a team noticed that, especially in like September, parts of October, we didn't show our best performances, and everybody was very unhappy about it. Of course, like, we're the players, we want to perform better. That's true. I mean, this is why we play, and we want to get the best results possible. So we talked a lot about this, and also about the playoff stuff, because for me it's brand new. So I mean, for me, it's now I understand it more, and I like the system with the playoffs, the postseason thing. But for me, it was always only who is the best team in the year wins the league and gets the credit. That's it. Over. We go to vacation, go somewhere and enjoy, and the next year we come back. So this new thing for me with the playoff, I mean, for me, it's very exciting. I'm so excited for those games. It's do or die games. This is what I like. I mean, I like to be under pressure. I like this, to feel it, almost the atmosphere, and like go out and say, hey, we have to win. Or concede a goal, for example, and then say, hey, we have to turn this around, because, I mean, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go to vacation. Not now. I want to go to the next game, and I want to go to MLS Cup final and whatever. So for me, it was great. And this is pretty much what we were thinking about and talking about in the locker room. But it was just details. Like, we know we are good when we do the job, and when we follow the plan we have, and Ronnie and everybody gives us. So it's just about executing the plan, and we had problems with that. There's no doubt, but I think, like you said, we turned it around, and it was amazing. I mean, the last 5 games were amazing, or 4 games maybe.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, that last game, and I want to talk about going this playoff match against Atlanta United, but that last game against Philadelphia Union was such a challenging. I'm at the stadium, I'm watching you guys, and you can see the frustration after the red card. But even after the red card, I genuinely felt, I'm like, how is this team almost playing better under this much pressure. They know they need a goal. Tati Castellanos wins the Golden Boot on that goal. Having that final game in the regular season to lead you into a home playoff match, what is that feeling like? How prepared and emotionally prepared with a game like that do you feel going into this match against Atlanta United?
Yeah, I mean, it's just about self-confidence, and for me, the same. I had the same feeling. I mean, I was so sad for Gideon because he got this red card and it was not even his fault almost, it's just unlucky. So, and after the red card, we conceded the goal. But I don't know, the mood in the locker room and at halftime, for example, was so positive. And this is what I try to do. I try to push everybody. I just want to get everybody back in the game emotionally, So for me, it was so much fun. Even though in second half I didn't get the ball so much because we tried to play more direct them to the goal because we're one less. So you have to be smart sometimes. But the atmosphere, the fans, the stadium, the team, it was so positive, and this is what you have to keep. You have to think about it. You have to keep it. And now, okay, we had this break. Now almost two weeks until the next game, but still you have to embrace these feelings, and just also in training, have fun, celebrate goals, celebrate wrong decisions of the coaches and whatever, just have a good time with the team, with your teammates. And if we do this and we prepare ourselves like we will do for sure for Atlanta on Sunday, execute the plan, then for me I said this a lot of times, for me there is no better team in MLS than us if we do what we want to do.
That brings me to my next question. You mentioned Atlanta. Look, second half of the season, Atlanta's been a different team than the first half. Obviously, look, they're a really good squad. But what do you think is the key? Because I agree with Christian. I feel like we could win this game. I think it's pretty simple, especially with what you're saying. If everyone does what they're supposed to do. But what do you think from the inside? Give us a little inside information. What is the key to beating Atlanta?
I think for us, it's. Of course, we have to focus on the opponent because everybody is different. They have different players, they have different systems. But for us, it's important to focus on ourselves. Like I said a couple of times now, we have to do what makes us strong, what makes us so good. And if we do this, if we keep the discipline, if we defend together, if we keep our shape organized, and this is why I'm here. Like, it's not only because of me, or it's not only about me, but this is where I have to bring in my experience from Bundesliga, my knowledge about tactical things in soccer, maybe. Keep everybody together. So if we do this stuff, we will get Maxi, Tati, Jesus, Santi, Thales, whoever plays there, Izzy, all the forwards. We put them in very good situations and they will shine. That's 100%. This is what I believe. And this is what we want to do. We want to defend, win the ball, give it to them, and then we explode.
There we go.
You know what? I'm hyped. Yeah, I mean, you're getting me.
It's not about the opponent. This is what I wanted to say,
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't care who we play. I never care about, of course I have to prepare myself. There are certain players I face or whatever, but still it's just, if we do the job, nobody can hold us down. It's not possible.
Right.
But,
that's great.
We have to execute and be very, very organized and be very focused on the task, especially defensively, and also where we position ourselves when we have the ball.
I love this because not only
I'm ready to go.
I'm hyped. I mean, Coach Morales is really good.
Get my jersey now.
Yeah. I don't care who I play. I'm out there fighting a horse after that speech.
No, but this is just an example of why you were brought into this team for just this leadership role. I mean, look, unfortunately, we have some injuries and lost, key players this season, and it causes a lot of concern for fans. But I feel like we're in good hands, and this team is still very, very strong and very much a contender to win the whole thing. So, Alfredo Morales, thank you so much for joining us, man. I know a lot of people are going to appreciate these very, very inspiring and motivating words.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure, guys. Thank you.
All right. Look, obviously, that interview was incredible. I'm still a little terrified. I know he's a sweet man, but there's something behind that sweet.
I feel safe. That's really the main thing.
You know when they have like those chocolates that have like chili powder in them? You know what I'm talking about? You're like, oh, that's sweet. Wow, why's my mouth burning? That's Alfredo Morales.
Absolutely honored that we got to talk to him. And now, let's analyze the upcoming playoff match a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about how we got here as well with Kristen Henniage. Kristen, what's up, man?
Not a lot, guys. What about you?
Who cares? The playoffs are coming up, right?
I wanted to contrast Alfredo a tiny bit and just, give you a soft landing.
You do that. You for sure do that.
No, this is obviously an exciting time. Whenever NYCFC are in the playoffs, we get hype. We've experienced the joys, we've experienced the heartbreak, and that is what MLS playoffs is about. But this upcoming match against Atlanta United, how do we not experience heartbreak? How do we get a victory at Yankee Stadium? How are you feeling about this moment for the club?
I think it's a supremely exciting moment for the club just because of how they finished the season. They've really turned themselves around. Coincidentally enough, I think at Atlanta was where that turnaround started with Goody's free kick because, they were toiling through some thick mud, I think, up until that point. So I think when you look at this game, it's another chance to have one of those moments. And for that reason alone, I really think the boys can get this one done. I've got total faith in them.
Now, what was the thing that changed? For those of us who are watching, we went through this sort of a down period in October, and then all of a sudden, things changed. There was a switch that happened. For those of us who maybe can't see the ins and outs and the tactics like you do, Kristen, what is it that might have switched, or is it just an attitude change or something in the locker room? What caused that switch? Because we have all the momentum right now.
Yeah, well, I think this is where those of us who look at the X's and O's get a little bit baffled because they were doing a lot of the same things they'd been doing all season, but it just wasn't bouncing the right way. And I think that's why Goody's goal is so important because it's that moment of, yes, okay, this is something to clutch onto. This is something to build from. I think you saw kind of just the release of emotion when the goal went in and how they all came together as a group. And I think from that moment, there was just this restoration of the belief in each other and the belief in what they were doing because up until that point, I think they'd had some really terrible luck. And the problem I also think the team had was they were playing so many games in such a short space of time that momentum was so difficult to snap out of. And there were just some really unfortunate moments. I think it's not unfair to say that there have been points in this season for NYCFC where they've just been unlucky. You can't really define it any other way. And you just have to keep pushing through. And I think that's why you saw the result like you did against DC United, that real blow away against them, because that was almost the pendulum swinging back the other way and correcting itself, I think, from previous results.
Yeah, it definitely built confidence. I also feel that the goal from Goody also, it felt like we were a part of that turnaround because we
100%.
We took free kicks with Goody to help him prepare for that vital.
Wait, Christian, are you saying he learned something from us?
I think, were we the muse
right.
that sparked this turnaround? I don't know, but
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced muse, but I'll let that go.
I'll say this, gents. I haven't heard it ruled out.
All right.
Okay.
You heard it here first, folks. It's plausible. That's all that matters.
But no, I mean that moment was a huge turnaround. It really did feel that the drought, the goal drought that we were kind of suffering from, really changed. And yeah, like you said, there were a lot of the results were a lot more positive in the upcoming games.
But speaking, actually, there's a goal drought. We went through a goal drought, and yet our forward wins Golden Boot. I mean, how incredible is that? And has that changed? Because he got very emotional. He was running around with the tifo that was made for him. Has that galvanized the team even further? Has it made it seem like, okay, one of us has won something, now we all need to win something?
I think it certainly stokes that fire a little bit. And what I thought was very telling was after that, Sean Johnson said, let me talk about the person first and foremost. As brilliant as the achievement was, let me focus on the individual that I've come to know. And I think that's really what you want to take away from who Tati Castellanos is. He is a ferocious worker. He is someone that puts in the effort, that puts in the hard yards, not just on the field, but also up at CFA where we can't see him day to day and where he's honing his craft. I think what you're looking at with him really is a story of someone that has come to this club and sees the opportunity to make himself better as a footballer. And I think ultimately that is what will be his legacy at this team, is he came, he improved, and he's walked away with the golden boot that I think he richly deserves, because when he wasn't in this team, they were worse off for it. And I think that's why he has a really strong case to be MVP this season, because he's had a sizable impact on the team that he plays for. He's not just someone that puts the ball in the back of the net. He's brilliant with his hold-up play. He is phenomenal in the air. The way he hangs in the air is ridiculous. And
that
I think
that last goal,
wild.
I couldn't believe it. I'm on
I thought he hopped on the dude's back. That's how high he was. That's how long he was in the air.
And what I loved about that goal as well is if you watch that whole play again, Glesnes gives him a nice shove first, and Tati doesn't get the call.
He gets back up.
Yeah, I can think of a number of players that would have potentially sulked in that scenario and thought this is ridiculous, but he didn't. He got right back up, rose right above him, and the rest is history.
I love how, speaking of history, I love how Tati Castellanos and Jacob Glesnes have this history. Remember, the Rabona was also from Jacob Glesnes, a misplaced pass to the keeper that led to a lovely Rabona in Philadelphia.
Glesnes is like, did I do something against him in a past life? Why am I always getting posterized?
It is incredible to see, the players who, have not only just simply stepped up. I mean, Tati Castellanos, like, it is just the type of player that he has become, where, we filmed a segment with him a couple months ago, and standing next to him, you're like, all right, he's not a large man by any means.
Right.
But he has the hold-up play of like a Romelu Lukaku, right? He is just, I'm like, wow, how is this man so strong?
He's so hard to get off the ball.
I think I may know the reason, and this is because, if you've noticed, Tati's shorts are rarely below, say, halfway on the thigh.
Yeah.
He's got that style down to a T, the sort of cuffed short that shows he does leg day. He's not the most subtle with that one, is Tati, but I wouldn't blame him if I had thighs like that. But yeah, you're spot on. He's a fantastic hold-up player. He's someone that brings his teammates into the game, and his relationship with Maxi Morales, who he's described as being like a brother to him, that to me is a fantastic partnership that, you can work on all that kind of stuff on the training ground again and figure out that kind of stuff. But I think there's something just a little bit intangible about the way those two play, because they do seem to know where each other is on the pitch at all times. And that's a nightmare for defenders.
Yeah, you want your midfielder and your forward to have a bond. You know what I mean? That's certainly helpful. Speaking, actually, we're kind of like midfield right now. A couple injuries, couple red cards. Talk to us a little bit about sort of the key position, which for me will be that midfield for the game against Atlanta. How do you think we're going to line up? How do you think we sort of handle this little bit of a glut in the midfield?
Well, I think this is where that depth comes into, and we've talked about this before, all the way back to the start of the season, where Ronnie said, I really want to have a deep squad with options. And in James Sands, you do have this very versatile player that can play centre-back, can play defensive midfield, centre midfield, has recently come out as a right-back all of a sudden, which I think is amazing to watch. And I think he can comfortably slot into that central midfield option alongside someone like Alfredo Morales. And then you've got a very strong, I think, stable pair in the middle of the park to give you some structure to then move around. And then you can call in someone like Talles Magno, who I think has had a really strong end to the season. I think from that Atlanta game, actually, he came on and there was just something different about him. There's sort of confidence and an ease with which he moved. I think that's maybe something that hasn't been as broadcast this season. There was a little bit of physical work, I think, for Talles to do to get to where he is now, to the point that he's looking a lot sharper. So you have these players that you can come in. Thiago is another one, Andres Jason. I could go on, but the point is that there are options for Ronnie to play around with here. And I think even someone like Andres Jason, who's come in and played at right back at points this season, there's a comfort in knowing that there is depth past maybe what we consider the usual starting 11 or the consistent starting 11.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Makes me feel good.
Yeah, it does. It fills me with a little bit more confidence, especially seeing even a player like Andres Jason, who is somehow one of the most fouled players in the league with not even that many minutes.
He ain't even out there. Stop kicking him.
But he's, there's clearly depth there, and even if somebody have to come off the bench, there's still a lot of talent. So we're excited about this match. Obviously, Atlanta United, a familiar foe, at Yankee Stadium. I think that's probably, at least for me, my kind of strongest confidence is that we are at home. We when you go to an NYCFC game at Yankee Stadium, we're usually seeing a victory for NYCFC.
Yeah. It's different. It's different to play at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of people with theories on why that is. I think personally, it's the intensity and the closeness of it. I think there's a lot of people that beat themselves before they get on the pitch because they think of all the excuses maybe they've heard other teams use that maybe don't really stack up when you look at them. And I think that's something that's really resonated with Ronnie as well, is that throughout the campaign, he's talked about wanting to play at Yankee Stadium, to be at home, to connect with those fans, because you can go all the way back through Ronnie's career, back to Strongetsert when he started in Norway. This is a man that truly values supporters and the role that they play. He sees them as a family. He sees them as that 12th person backing the team and giving them that extra oomph. And I think that's what you'll see on Sunday, personally. I think you'll see a real intensity that it'll be something that Atlanta have to manage. They play at a very big stadium themselves. They're used to those kind of crowds, you think, but it's a difference when they're not cheering for you instead of cheering for you. So I'll be curious to see how they handle that personally.
Okay. Yeah, look, NYCFC, we have something that other football clubs do not have. And, the reason we get so much support because we have the ghost of Babe Ruth supporting us, okay?
the ghost of Derek Jeter, and I know he's not passed yet, but
it's too intense.
Also the ghost of the chicken bucket, dude. I mean...
Kristen, thank you so much for joining us, shedding some more light and analysis on this very big playoff game coming up this weekend. So yes, everybody, tune in. If you go to the game, if you can, you can get tickets at Ticketmaster.com. The game is on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern.
It's going to be on ABC.
It's going to be on ABC,
right? The Big Daddy channel.
Okay. So this is over the air. Right? You don't no subscriptions needed.
No.
Okay.
Well, you need a TV, but if you got that, you can watch.
But adjust the antenna at the top, and you'll be good to go.
Get the foil on it, And also, don't forget, it's going to be on both English and Spanish-speaking radio. So make sure you check that out. Watch the game, support your squad, and I think we're going to get that W.
Let's go.